Good morning, everyone, and welcome to the PivotBoss pre-market video for Wednesday, March 23rd, 2022. I am Frank Ochoa, aka PivotBoss. Here's a look at the daily time frame of the ES. You'll notice right here, a bit of a fade after trend day. Trend day up in the previous session held those gains. We were looking for a fade after trend day that would take us back to the midpoint as of yesterday afternoon in the trading room, and that midpoint is going to be very important. A push through that midpoint or acceptance below it could open up a test back at the previous session's low. Again, still remain within the bullish uptrend and the short-term basis, but can price push through the next highest market structure, 4,600, 4,580? And to test that edge, the next pullback could provide an opportunity to buy the dip and look to extend the move up toward 4,600. So right now, looking at early weakness here this morning. Any failure to hold the previous session's midpoint or establish acceptance or maintain acceptance above it would open up a push back down. If we do see a 1 to 3 day pullback or so, any kind of rejection could provide an opportunity to get in ahead of the next push and the next move across the range. Right now, 43.50 is kind of that lower edge, and the bottom edge below that, 4,100. The top edge here, 4,600. So again, making the transition through 43.50. Any pullback as deep as that could provide an opportunity to keep going here. A failure at 43.50 opens up the lower edge of the range yet again, which could continue to be the case. Once we get to the edge, it may stay in here for a bit and then transition back down as it's done before. Right now, this market is in a show me state where it really needs to show that it can maintain strength after this type of move. This has been a really strong move so far, but at the same time, the market still needs to prove that it can continue to maintain acceptance above key levels, and any pullback will be defended. So we'll continue to watch this, but as of right now, all eyes on the previous session's midpoint, 44.7388. All right, let's take a look here at the NQ. Very similar price action to the NQ. Again, a very sharp rally from last Tuesday's failed new low. We got a big time turnaround. Nice trend day up in the previous session, and now seeing a pullback after that trend day. That's a fade after trend day back toward yesterday's midpoint. The midpoint here is 14,492. And that's the likely target of the short-term pullback, but any failure to hold that midpoint could open up the potential for a test at the previous session's low or perhaps lower. Like we mentioned here with the ES, the recent pushback above this level right here is about 13.9. Any pullback even into that zone could still be a buying opportunity as this thing tries to push up toward the next key level above, and that's 15,250. So if we're kind of transitioning back above the 13.8, 13.9 zone, then any pullback into that zone could still provide a bounce for a continuation up. So while we are pulling back here, a nice flush or a failed new low, some sort of major shakeout to retest the 8-period average that's rising, that could provide a very nice buying opportunity for a continuation up on a short-term basis to test the edge. But right now, watching that previous session's midpoint for early directional cues the rest of the morning. Let's take a look here at crude oil. Crude oil right now up 3.65%. Again, this is one that we continue to mention is not one to fade. While we may have those pullbacks or pullback periods here, the underlying circumstances are still present that has led to the overall move. So again, those circumstances still present. We will still continue to see high volatility here. The 96 level, very important, and so far it's held on the pullback and bouncing above the 113s, opens up the upper structure up here into 130. So again, watching this edge to see if it just kind of stays in here or do we continue higher ahead. Any pullback, again, got a 2-day range right here. We're still trending up. Any failed new low pullback could be a catalyst for a continuation up up ahead for crude oil. Let's take a look at Bitcoin. Bitcoin right now, mostly range bound. It is right around the break-even point, but appears poised for further strength, at least in the short term. Right here you have this narrow 3-day range that we called out last week, and we've since gotten the continuation after that breakout. We've gotten a accumulation portion here with 3 days sideways and another breakout, and now we're testing the 42 from above. So that path, that look and feel, has the potential to push this thing to the edge. It's still showing all the bullish tendencies here. We've gotten an upside break and hold, more compression and a breakout. We've gotten pullbacks that continue to hold, and now again above these recent highs here opens up the next and last portion of that range here into 46K. So 46K been the big time level of resistance here for the year. And if price continues to hold 42 here, we may have a shot to continue higher toward 46 yet again. Overall, this market could continue to stay within the 37 to 46 zone for a while until we're able to see a transition out of that market structure. So on the way up right now, as long as price continues to hold that 42K for Bitcoin. Taking a look at Ether futures, very similar price action. We noted the narrow 3-day range last week, and we've since gotten that push higher. We mentioned a push to the edge toward 3,300 could be in play, and so far it's been a nice and slow approach toward that level, and holding 3,000 over the last couple of days here. Again, given the overall push higher, if there were to be some sort of failed new low, rejection or shakeout leg here, that could provide an opportunity to push this thing higher toward 3,300 in the near term. Again, like Bitcoin, we're very likely to stay between that 2,400 and 3,300 until proven otherwise. Once we're able to see a major transition phase through it, we could be done with that market structure. Until then, we could see a push to the edge and trade and drop right back down within the range until we're able to see that transition phase. All right, that is it for now. We'll see how this plays out heading into the rest of the session. Good luck, trade well, and I'll see you in the trading room. Take care.